Welcome back to the channel, and this is our final part of the MASH story. So this is only a 16-part episode for the final season, and here we got everybody on the front and some pictures of them from the stories. So we come to our very last season 11, and the final one to the story MASH, and to the last few of the episodes. So for our first one, I think it's our first one, yes it is. Hey, look me over. Margaret is hyper when a colonel wants to see how long it takes to her to set up a hospital after a bug out. Hawkeye realised how intense all the nurses are. So this person's on Margaret's back, and she's on the back of all the nurses to, do this time, so all goes, not so smooth. So the next one is Trick or Treat. Now, the 4077 Halloween party is intended to buy incoming wounded, among them a soldier who's not quite ready for the last rites that Father McCarthy reads him. So as they all busy with the soldiers, they see this person and they think he's dead. But in the end, Father McCarthy noticed he's still twitching, so he's still alive, so they have to rush and save him and that. For our next one, A Foreign Affair. The army tends to take charge of Hawkeye's new patients and the North Korean soldier. They're mistaken, believed is ready to surrender his plane to the United States. So what happens? They get this North Korean soldier who's crashed his plane, and he doesn't want to go to America, but there's a South Korean who wants to go to America, and he pretends to be the North Korean soldier because this because this commander's trying to get brownie points, and it all turns out a good way. The joke is wired. Hawkeye gets extremely paranoid after BJ promises that within the 24 hours he'll go and pull a joke on all jokers on the whole of the gang. So as things go, he pulls pranks on different people, but in the end the joke falls back on Hawkeye, and he has to drop his trousers and sing you're the best or something. I forget what the song is, because everybody plays the joke and pretends there's a joke being played on them, but in theory it's not. They're playing the joke back on Hawkeye. So our next one, who knew when Hawkeye is asked to deliver a chat to the nurses, his date is realize how important it is to let the people you care about know that you love them. So I don't know if this is where he's trying to woo this woman and it all goes pear-shaped. So for the next one, if rumours about the end of the war are bad enough, Charles and Hawkeye and Charles stars a rumour that Marilyn Monroe is coming to visit the 4077. Now, this is a scam what they start off, and everybody believes that Marilyn Monroe is coming to the camp, and they can even get a band to play, but it's all a practical joke by Hawkeye and Charles, and they sort of work out a way to save the necks. So, situation debt. Having finally paid off the mortgage on their house, Mavis Potter, I think it's Mavis, writes a letter to Hawkeye asking him and the gang to throw a surprise mortgage burning party for Colonel Potter. So the letter's sent to Hawkeye, and Potter realises it's his wife's letter writing, so he's trying to find out what's going on. And how they do it, they deck out his where his camp is, in a fence and that, and have a mortgage burning party for him because the mortgage is paid off. So for the next one, the moon is blue, is not blue. With booze outlawed at the 4077, Hawkeye and BJ are determined to get their hands on a new and band of in Boston. Oh, this is about a film called The Moon Is Not Blue, starring David Niven in the movie. But what happens, the movie they get sent is not a good one, and they get talked to the person who's sending it to this general, and they get it swapped. So in the end, it all goes pear-shaped because this colonel brings the movie what Hawkeye, what BJ and Honeycutt swapped, and it doesn't go right. For next one, Run for Your Money. Klingon decides to set up a just can't lose race against the MASH 8064 unit after learning that an Olympic runner has just been assigned to the 4077. So what happens, they have challenged this other unit, and I think all the bets go wrong and it all goes pear-shaped for Klinger and that. So for the next one, the UN, the night and the music. The UN decides a troop stops by the 4077 for a tour as perform a unexpected for the camp because one of their people is ill and have to have a major operation, so they do a show for them, and Klinger decides that he's doing that, and when he comes on stage he freezes. So strange bedfellows. While Charles is snoring disturbs Hawkeye and BJ, and Colonel Potter is disabled after learning that his son-in-law is cheating on his wife. So they try and stop Charles from snoring and that, and um, um, Potter learns his son-in-law is cheating, and that is not very good on his daughter. So for the next one is Say No More. Margaret is upset after a case of laryngitis keeps her from a trip to Tokyo, where she is going to meet excuse me, a doctor who is the topic authorised in the emergency care. So what happens? She loses her laryngitis because she has this shower, and she loses her voice. And what happens? They get this commander to come to the camp to meet. I think Charles helps out and that. And next, friend and enemies. Although an enemy happens to run into an old friend, Colonel Potter, and has decided what to do after learning his friend orders young. His friends ordinary young. The Colonel soldier is holding a undercover position. So I think this is where Potter and his friend plays tricks on everybody and they're all panicking. So for the next one is a wounded American soldier and a North Korean soldier. He's shot straight up, and an unlikely friendship after they find themselves lay side by side in their 4077 recovery room. So what happens? The two brothers are split. One sent to North Korea and one South Korea. And the one brother gets injured and he's a prisoner of war, but he has to have a blood transfusion with his brother. But they have to go ahead with it without the powers that be finding out. As time goes by, Hawkeye and Margaret gather material items to put in a time capsule, which they hope will suddenly the people, whenever everyone knew, and the time that they spent in Korea. So Margaret's trying to make a serious one. So Hawkeye and the rest of the crowd are making a funny one and that. So in the end, they've put in Radar's teddy bear and all that, and they agree to bury the right one. So, goodbye, farewell, amen. So this is reported that the end is about, reports that the war is about to end, reaches the camp with imminent friction, but for the doctors and nurses of 407, it's business as usual. More and more wounded soldiers continue to be chopped in every day. And this is where, this is like a long hour. At the time, this was the most watched show in America. And it starts off with Hawkeye in the mental hospital because he has a breakdown. And what it is, the story is this woman strangles her baby because North Koreans are by the boss because they've been to the seaside, and she strangles the child. But Hawkeye says it's a chicken because he can't bring himself to, accept what happened. So in the end, they get back, and as you can see from the little picture, there's BJ going off his bike, and Hawkeye going off, and even Charles, because what happens, a group of musicians come into the camp as prisoners of war, and Charles teaches them to play some music, and what happens, they get killed, and that upsets Charles, and this is the very last episode. And as you can see on the back, the sign what BJ puts up for Hawkeye, and this is where I say a fond farewell to the 4077. And there is only 4 of the original members of the series still alive. They're all, I think, I'm not sure, I know, I think these 2 are still alive, and I think these 2 are still alive as well, but I'm not sure about it. I know Alan Alda and Something Swift is still alive, but I'm not sure about the other 2 if they're still alive. But some of the episodes was directed by Alan Alda, because he did a bit directing. So this is where I say a fond farewell to MASH, and I hope you enjoy my trip down the 4077 and the stories of all their episodes, and all 251 episodes of the series. And the series outlasts the war, because it ran longer than the war did. So I'll bid you a fond farewell, and if you enjoy this little chat about the 4077 and you want to come and join me for other chats and that, you're more than welcome. It's your choice, and please come along. You are more than welcome. Could come along and join my little followers, and I wish you fond farewell whenever you watch this, and be safe, be kind to each other, and look after yourself. And I'll say goodbye for now and farewell. Bye.